What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to the day after the night before, man. I feel numb. I feel numb. I really, really do feel numb. Obviously, I've started these new series of videos, the reflections, just touching with you guys, kind of doing a debrief with the day after the game to say how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Off the record, unfiltered, all of that stuff. And it's like, I still don't know how to feel after watching that last night because I'll be honest, I feel anger. I feel some elements of proud's probably too strong, but some elements of understanding. Um, I feel just frustrated. At sometimes I just feel like the emotionally drained is another way that I feel with this team right now. Where do I start? I mean, when you have a shit result like that in the manner of which we lost that game last night, you want to, you go sleep, you wake up, you calm down, and you want to see, you know, where am I at? Was I overreacting? Was I not looking at the bigger picture and even more warning signs? Am I focusing too much on VAR and refereeing decisions, or is it just they got to do better in that situation? I'll be honest. I'm leaning more towards we've got to do better in them situations. I'm leaning more towards I saw a lot of things that happened be a recurring theme, you know? And it's frustrating because essentially we're nearly men. We always nearly get there. Not always. Sometimes we just get smoked, but it's either we get smoked or we're just not good enough. And you have to look at the mentality of this team and you can't ignore how soft it is. That's the bit I'm struggling to move past. I can get to Endeavour because this listen, this isn't just going to be a rant and a moan because we have to keep calm. We have to keep calm. This isn't just going to be a rant and a moan. I promise that. But because it's like at the forefront of my thinking right now, it is the mentality. Because good teams, which obviously we're not a good team right now, but any teams that have a little bit about them, when it doesn't go right, they still find a way. They don't capitulate. Essentially, we had 10 men for like what, 50 minutes, and we conceded 4 goals. We conceded 4 goals. Now, again, the caveat back to that is first goal, offside. Come on, help us out a little bit. Normally they give that. Hard done by. I understand that. But there's still the way that the goal came about and the lack of awareness from our players, a lack of being able to get a foot on the ball and take the sting out of the game, frustrate them in that moment to not even give them a chance to create that situation where we got robbed or didn't get robbed, just wasn't there. That level of control, that level of attention to detail, that level of standing up in the adversity because your brain's a bit frazzled. It's the boxing analogy is the perfect um, analogy to use for it. When boxers get rocked, either their legs go wobbly and they just have to hold on until they get to the bell, or worse still, they get knocked down. You know it's a 10-8 round. You could have got knocked out. Fight could have been stopped, but you found the will. Your head's a bit frazzled. Your legs have gone a little bit. You're tired. You just get through the round and then you can recoup. The very best boxers do that. And it's like that in football. The very best teams do that. If Liverpool or City or even Arsenal would have been in that position, maybe not Arsenal, who knows, but you get my drift. If the decent team is in that position, they find a way to not make silly mistakes, you know? Um, the second goal obviously is a handball, but it's like, I get it. We could talk about handballs not being handballs, and I agree. The game needs to change. But again, allowing the situation to happen, couldn't get a grip, you know? That annoys me. And then the last sort of negative as well. Again, you go 3-2 up through some endeavour and some of the things I'm asking us to show, um, and you switch off. You switch off individual errors. Like, I look at that, and apart from maybe Eric Ten Hag bringing on Mason Mount for Hoyland, when you like, what was really the point? But there wasn't long left. It's the only criticism I have of him yesterday. I don't know what more he could have done. This is me speaking honestly. The manager could not have done any more yesterday. You have to look at the players again. A lot of these losses that we've had, we can talk about uninspiring subs and players that he's bought and things like all these things, decisions that he's made and players that he's taken on. All of these things are true, like outside of it. But crossing the white line, you have to look at these players, man. In that situation last night, you know, for 38 minutes before that red card happens to Rashford, tactically brilliant. We're on top, everything's fine. We're cruising. We're asking for a third. We're asking for a third. Do you know what I mean? We're in complete control of the game. But when it doesn't go your way, you know, and it didn't go our way, that Rashford one, look, I think in football terms, and you played the game and you understand the game, you don't want to see red cards given for that, because that means that every accidental piece of contact, you're pretty much gonna give a red card. You're not understanding the physics of the game about someone trying to just protect the ball. But on the flip side, if I'm 100% unbiased to do that for a sec, at the same time, with the current rules, with the current state of the game in the modern game, you're probably going to get a red every time for something like that. And then obviously they do this dead freeze frame where they show the ref, and it's only ever going to be one outcome. So that in this modern day, that can happen. It can happen to you. You know, look at Liverpool against Newcastle. They were 1-0 down, went down to 10 men. Van Dijk gets sent off. What do? Get through the half, stabilise, ended up winning the game. You know, and good teams can do that. And that's the bit that hurts me the most. That's the bit that pisses me off the most, why I feel numb. Because I'm like, okay, we're not getting the decisions and we're not getting, you know, the VAR kind of robbed us a little bit. But with everything that's been happening in VAR, look, we've been laughing at everyone else and we've been robbed probably the most times. It happens. I get that. That's the sad state of the game today. It happens. But you still have to find a way. You can't just excuse Varane, excuse me, doing what he did. You can't excuse Wan-Bissaka setting off a bad chain of events with a shit pass back to Onana. You definitely can't excuse Dallo, which led directly to the goal, just going to sleep. That's on the mentality. You know, we were 3-2 up with 8 minutes to go and we've lost 4-3. That's this. That's staying switched on. On a positive, because I do think it's important to talk about the positives, there was a plan. You know, there was a well-executed plan. There's a well-executed plan for the best part of the 38 minutes before Rashford got in trouble and got sent off. It was fine. I don't see any problems with how we played. I was actually really impressed. I was pleasantly surprised. I think we all were. You know, Wan-Bissaka was excellent. Eriksen was excellent. Bruno was doing well. Højlund's movement was good. We were creating chances. We were cutting them open. Yeah, Copenhagen probably wasn't giving the best account of themselves, but I think that was largely down to us. We were composed at the back. We were absolutely fine. No danger, no problem, no worry, no stress. Then getting in at 2-2, I was impressed with how we come out in the second half as well. I give us credit for that. I think Erik ten Hag made the right sub. Got Eriksen out of there, get Amrabat on. You know it's going to be tough. You're going to need a little bit more steel in there. Go 4-4-1, be compact. And we actually controlled the game for up until we got the penalty and scored it. We controlled the half. They had a couple of little half chances, but nothing too big. And I think that was again why I'm frustrated, because every time I cuss us, every time I criticize us, it's because sometimes you can see a little bit of us doing the right thing. Do you get that? Like, we were in control at 3-2, so manage the game out. We were winning like contentious fouls, taking the pressure off. Højlund winning fouls. Copenhagen getting frustrated. Garnacho winning fouls by the byline, defending well, clearing it. Like, we looked a good outfit. We looked a good, solid outfit. But we had to not make mistakes. And we did. And we did make mistakes. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I was upset about. The mistakes. Because they were trying, but it's the lapses of concentration. And that happens far too often in this side. Also, you know, in terms of a bigger picture, if we really want to look at the bigger picture, it's quite hard to look at the bigger picture now, because an isolated moment where we just need wins and we want to get our heads above the water, keep our heads above the water. But the bigger picture is important, and the bigger picture is that what was it? 3 of Ten Hag signings were on the bench yesterday. You know, not playing. You know, you got Anthony, you got Mason Mount, and you got Amrabat. Now, essentially, you can kind of, it's different horses, different courses, because you know, not having them players in the team did work essentially, because we were 2-0 up and cruising. So this is where football has fine margins, but you know, he's obviously come away from that of players, you know, that he's bought that aren't performing. What's the plan with Mason Mount? You know, getting flung on up front for 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, not starting games, can't see what's going on. I just don't see where he fits into what Eric wants to do. I just can't see it. Varane's a worry. Varane's a worry now. I know mistakes can happen in football, but the manner of that mistake, with what's reportedly been going on in inverted commas with the rumours, it seemed a bit, that's a bit off. He wasn't focused. You know, is that down to a lack of care and focus because of, you know, some off-field stuff that's been going on? Obviously, he lost his place to essentially Johnny Evans and Lindelof, really, let's be honest. And now Ten Hag might be justified in saying, look, that's why I don't want to play Harry Maguire and Varane. But what Varane did was inexcusable. Like, just as a pro, like, he's a top pro, very experienced. But he basically chipped it up and volleyed it straight to them. Looked like he did it on purpose. It was that bad. It was that bad a mistake. But again, I talk about the team because it isn't always just about one player. Because that was a shocking bit of play by Varane, 100%. But there's still quite a long way before he does that till they score. And again, what do good teams do? If your mate makes a mistake, don't worry, I got your back. We'll get out of this. Don't you worry. I'll cover for you. We'll sort it out. And we just don't. Wan-Bissaka kicks it at Onana about 100 miles per hour and he miscontrols it. But there's still a corner that we end up half clearing and it gets out a little bit and we go to sleep. There's still a chain of events where Dalot doesn't need to be switched off from as soon as Wan-Bissaka does that shit pass. He doesn't. Do you know what I mean? We still fail to clear our lines out of the corner. So we're still not doing our job. So at the same time, it's individual errors that are costing us. But it's also collective errors and a lack of collective organisation and calmness that's stopping us rectifying individual errors, which good teams should be able to do. If someone makes a mistake, you go and help your mate out. That's what happens. That's what you're supposed to do. So I feel numb. I feel tired. I just don't know where this team's going. We're not, in my opinion, we're not getting out of the group. We're not getting out of the group because the evidence shows us. Look what happens when there's adversity. Going to Galatasaray, it's going to be an even tougher atmosphere than that, what we just played against. I can't see us winning that. And again, even if we are in a winning position, knowing our luck, knowing our temperament, knowing our mentality, there will be a setback during the game and we're not going to respond properly to it. I've been saying it the whole season. How many times have I said it? KG keeps referencing it now because he's seen it from when I said it at the Arsenal game. What was that? 4th game into the season? But it happened even before that because it happened even at Spurs. You know, we don't manage the games well. Like, we keep, every time we score, we almost instantly concede, or we concede later on in the game, bar a couple, you know. There has been the odd occasion where we've managed a little bit of adversity. I'd say Sheffield United, unlucky handball. It's then 1-1 when McBurney scores at half-time. How do we respond? Okay, we managed to get out of jail with a good Dalot goal. And that was one where you say, okay, cool. There was a bit of adversity in the Fulham game. Thought it was 1-0 up after 7 minutes. Goal gets disallowed for VAR, offside, get robbed. Ride your luck a little bit, get a last-minute winner. That's kind of riding a little bit of adversity. It's not convincing, but you're showing a few signs. Forest 2-0 down after like 10 minutes or whatever it was. You know, embarrassing, pressure's on, came back, won the game. So there are some examples of kind of facing up to a little bit of adversity. But when it really, really counts and more often, we're not responding to it. And that, again, is a big worry. And that's why I can't come on here and shout and swear and cuss and that. Because essentially, you know, I did see some good things that if we can do them for longer, we will win games. But every time we get these strong setbacks, every time we get these big psychological blows, it's damaging, it's draining. And I just worry that the players just end up they can't cope. because they can't. It's soft and it's bad to say it, but I don't think they can continue to cope with these emotional batterings, because that's what is happening. Their emotions and their mental state in a football term is taking an absolute battering, because they can't win football matches on a consistent basis. So they're back to the drawing board every single time. Anyway, annoying. That's my reflection. Let me know how you guys feel the day after. Are you more angry? Are you looking more at the players with this? Do you go on the more positive side? Because there was positives that if we can do these, play how we played for the first half, first 38 minutes for longer, we're on to something. Or do you just see it as it's the same old crap? It's the same old crap. And then obviously VAR. So loads to contend with. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it. And I'll see you on the next show very, very soon. Take care, guys. Peace.